Good morning. It is June 5th, and this is a garden tour here at Sun and Star Farm. Real life, unedited. I work a full-time job and have livestock to take care of, along with my Shar-Pei and little Jack Russell, a Bichon that's in the house. So my life is pretty full, pretty busy, but I do the best that I can, and I want to show people that you can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be imperfectly perfect and work, like this guy here trying to break into my garden. I forgot to lock the gate, and it's locked now, so he shouldn't be able to get in. Huh, buddy? He's like, but I like coming in and trying to pee on your vegetables. He's so bad. So this is my first bed. It's actually in transition. The beautiful blue flowers are Italian dandelions that are left over from my winter planting. I've left them to go to flower because, I mean, seriously, how could you not want these beautiful blue flowers in your garden? And the honeybees love them. It's gorgeous. My leeks are going on a year and a half. I haven't really found a use for them. I planted them just to try them out. They're massive. I have pulled some out to eat, but I have let them go to flower because I think their flowers are pretty. Oh wow, look at that massive mushroom. It's bigger than my hand. And then in the center I have celery that has, worm on it. A lot of things need to be weeded. I work on it, but the weeds come up faster than I can pull them. Okay, so next bed are my peppers. I just planted them this past week, so they haven't done a whole lot of growing. I'm kind of behind the ball on a lot of the stuff that I do. Last year I planted everything early and lost most of my stuff due to a ton of rain and weird weather. This year I planted later to see if I have better results, especially with my hot crops like tomatoes and peppers. I planted them really late this year. Also to try to avoid the tent worms. I got hammered hard last year by tent worms, and they this year I'm not dealing with tent worms, so maybe I found something that'll work. We'll see how much of a crop I get. We have long season here, zone 9, South Texas, so I know I'll get plenty of peppers, but they are struggling from the heat. We are having record high temperatures this year, so darned if you do, darned if you don't. It's a struggle. I planted a lot of cosmos in the center, and then there's some bachelor buttons at the end just to add color and bring pollinators into the garden, and just to make life easy. Last year I planted a center row of peppers and I ended up having a lot of difficulty harvesting, so I decided to use the center for flowers, for pollinators, to add beauty and see how it goes. These are all sweet peppers that are planted in this bed. The next bed after are my hot peppers, which I have some jalapenos that need to be planted. And then of course my beautiful sunflower. Over here I have pole beans growing. Oh, my camera will unzoom. Pole beans that are growing, and they're just starting to trellis. They're doing a really good job. And then a front row of bush beans. I have 4 varieties that I planted, some of my favorites. I didn't do a lot of the exotics like I have done last year or the year before. I just kind of went real basic this year. knowing that with the livestock that I added this year, that they were going to take up a lot of time and my garden was going to suffer from it. And this is corn that I planted. It is a type of hybrid lavender and white sweet corn. So I'm really excited. Purple's my favorite color. I grow a lot of things that are purple because I just love it. Kind of curious to see how this does. I noticed that I'm starting to get some tasseling and it's not very tall. So it may be that I planted it too late. Like I said, I struggle with knowing when to plant stuff here in Texas because every year the weather is completely different in the spring. So more of my cardinal. You can see the honeybee in there. But this is more of that Italian. It looks like chicory, but it's Italian dandelion. My poor lonely little chamomile. The heat does my chamomile in, so it is not doing very good this year. More pole beans, and then I've got some royal burgundy beans in the front. My echinacea is looking beautiful, and the bee balm is looking pretty amazing. Guys, enough. Of course, this garden needs to be pulled. I haven't done it yet. It needs to get done. I've got a couple of days off this week extra from work, so I'm hoping I'll have time. My poor cabbage that was in here got hammered the first. We went from like 50 degrees to 85, and it just wiped out my cabbage. I've got a couple of red cabbage heads that are trying to regrow, but I really don't think it's gonna happen. They get so big and then they just croak. My poor raspberries are suffering the heat too, unfortunately. I didn't prune them back this year because I heard that you could get a spring crop, and this is the new cane right here. So next year I will prune back because the spring crop isn't anything I'll probably be able to eat. You can see they're getting sunburned. They weren't pollinated well. Normally this trellis would be covered with bean vines all the way up to help shade them in the afternoon. And because I planted all of this stuff late, it's not shading and it's just frying it. I have a couple of other berry vines planted here, but they're just all struggling here. Everything I read said full sun, but they cannot handle the full sun. They're struggling. So maybe as time goes and they get acclimated, I'll have some better luck. But I think I planted 8 plants this year across the bottom, and none, I think I've only got one that survived. This is another bed that needs to be pulled. It's nothing but weeds. Weeds and lettuce that has gone to seed from a random plant that came up. This is a struggle back here. The bee balm. I'm trying to get everything mulched to help deal with the heat. This is my sweet potato bed. I didn't plant anything on the trellis on this side because of the vining habits of the sweet potatoes. Oh, that butterfly. Isn't that pretty? Over here I've got cucumbers growing. Once again, they got planted pretty late. Oh, yay. Got the black Russian honeybee in there pollinating. Pollinate, pollinate, please, please, please. I've seen one cucumber there and then a ton of babies. So if this black Russian honeybee does his job, you can see all of the babies. I should have quite a few cucumbers, which I'm excited about. My crops are going to be limited this year. I gotta come out and trellis. I lost most of my onions, or they flopped, so I had to pull them out. I didn't lose them, but they're only the size of golf balls. So I'm gonna have to, I left a few of them in here that were still green and growing, so I'm not gonna get any big onions this year. They were all kind of floppy. But I'm dealing with that. A little bit of a pest issue. Not quite sure what those are. I'm gonna have to look them up. But up here I have got leaf hoppers all the way up this thing. And I sprayed neem oil, but it didn't do anything. And I'm 100% organic, so other than coming out here and trying to hand pick, which I've tried, they fly. It's not gonna happen. And this is the hotbed, or the hot pepper bed. My tomatoes are struggling this year too. I need to come out and stake. I got them planted too late. They're just babies. We'll see if I even get any tomatoes this year. Last year, I planted 96 tomato plants and only got maybe 10 tomatoes. I got hit by tent worms, then hornworms. I got 3 weeks of flooding. That's why I planted everything late this year. And I don't know. We'll see if I get anything. My garden's such a struggle. I'm kind of embarrassed to even be doing a video, but this is real life. This is what happens when you have limited time. Elderberries. I planted these last fall. I propagated a clipping that I had gotten off the side of the road, and I am so excited it's doing so well. The flowers are beautiful. If all goes well, then I should have, hi lady, hi lady, hi lady. I should have elderberries in the fall. My fingers are crossed, but I mean, is that not just gorgeous? Look how pretty that is. Even if I don't get a whole bunch of berries, I'm just happy to have such beautiful flowers. I mean, I cannot complain. It looks like I got another little head of flowers that may be coming up there. They're just so delicate. So hopefully I'll have elderberries, since I'm not going to get anything from my raspberries or blackberries this year. My roses are doing okay. They were beautiful in the spring. This back one I need to cut back. It's struggling. I think I may have to dig it up and replant it someplace else. I don't know if it's the soil. I mean, the canes look nice and healthy, but I don't know if something's out here eating the leaves. It's hard telling. I had strawberries planted in here. No such luck. They all died. Every time I plant strawberries, they die. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if it's our temperatures, if I'm just not buying good strawberry plants, if it's something with the dirt. The weeds don't seem to have an issue growing. But this overall is what my garden looks like in June. Usually by June, this garden is so full that you can't even see anything. It's just like a big green monster. So next year I'll plant earlier and hopefully have better luck. I mean, I'll get some stuff out of this garden, but I'm definitely not going to get as much as I have in the past. Isn't that beautiful? It's Hummingbird Mint and I believe Hypsis. If I'm not mistaken, this is Hypsis. I know this is Hummingbird Mint. And then I have a creamy yellow echinacea. A white echinacea I did not plant. It was supposed to be a twist, which is a pink and green colored flower, and I got white, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then I have just the regular purple echinacea, and then my parsley's down here, and it's starting to go to seed, which I let things go to seed. I like volunteer plants. I like Mother Nature to do its own thing. It looks like one of my bee balm are about to open all the way. Isn't that pretty? This will be gorgeous here. Probably, I would say probably within a week or so. And then after it does its thing with its blooms, I'll trim it back because there's tons of echinacea that I have planted that the bee balm hides. I also have, where's it at? There it is. That's Stevia. It has come up 2 years in a row now by itself. I have not had to plant it. I bought seeds and haven't had to plant it, which I'm not complaining. And this year the plant is probably 3 times the size it was when I originally planted it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to actually harvest from it this year. Instead of just 1 or 2 leaves at a time, I'm going to actually clip a couple branches off and then dry it. I use a lot of stevia. I'm trying to get off of sugar, which is not easy. I'm going to have to come out and reseed some of my beans. It'll help with a second succession, plus it'll fill some of these holes. Of course, they're not in bloom right now, but they were pretty much all winter. That is white dandelion, and they're real pretty little white dandelion flowers. Everything in the center is pretty much weed. So I'm need to come out and pull, but the yellow flowers are pretty, even though they're weeds. Oh well. Isn't a weed just a plant that's not wanted? So, this is my garden. Please like and subscribe. Hopefully, next month's walkthrough will be more exciting than this one. Maybe my garden will be a little bit further along where it's looking the way it's supposed to, instead of looking like it's struggling, which it looks like it's struggling. My poor pepper plants are yellow. I don't know. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. Help me build my YouTube channel. Have a nice day. God bless.